I was kind of hoping for a more cinematic shot, but this will have to do. But anyways, today is finally the day. I never thought I'd be saying this, but we're going to Tennessee. I get to go to Nashville for the first time in my life. So let's go. Day 1. So we headed from California to Tennessee and we landed in Memphis. We stopped for dinner and headed to a place called Marlowe's Barbecue. Inside the restaurant, it was all Elvis themed, and the place even included an Elvis themed store. Overall, the food was great and I highly recommend it. Day 2. Graceland. Today we got to visit Graceland, home of the late Elvis Presley, aka the King of Rock and Roll. The tour started with a short documentary on Elvis's life, and afterwards we headed to the Graceland Mansion. It was an audio-guided tour, so the employees gave us an iPad and headphones. So we went on a shuttle across the street. Yeah, it was across the street to the Graceland Mansion. It was a very quick but beautiful drive. I wasn't allowed to film inside the mansion, but I was able to take a few pictures. The next exhibit on the Elvis tour was his car collection, which of course had his infamous pink Cadillacs. The following exhibit had Elvis's wartime memorabilia and was dedicated to his time serving in the army. In the next exhibit, it contained his records, costumes, and famous performances. And yeah, he made a lot of records. Totally wasn't showing off. One thing in particular that stood out to me was that this exhibit contained the original contract between Elvis Presley and Colonel Tom Parker. Why? Because in the music business, managers on average take out a commission of 10 to 15% of an artist's income. Sadly, for this contract, the Colonel negotiated for 50% of Elvis's income and was signed by Elvis. Unfortunately, the Colonel's gambling habits caused his percentage to increase over time, and Elvis died with millions that were owed to him. The gravesite of Elvis and the Presley family is located on the grounds of Graceland. Overall, it was a beautiful home that was full of history, and you could definitely feel the presence of the late Elvis Presley. Okay, so we're in Memphis. It's going to be our second night in Memphis. We're going to head down to Beale Street tonight. We're going to go check out the Peabody, which is a hotel here, which is very historic. And then we're also going to hopefully see a piano concert. And yeah, we're just going to check out Beale Street tonight. So let's go. So we headed to the Peabody for beverages. Wee, rubber ducky, rubber ducky. Then we made our way to Beale Street, a street that is quite popular for live music, bars, restaurants, and gift shops. We stopped at the B.B. King's Blues Clubs for more drinks and got a chance to see some live music. The area definitely became more lively as nighttime approached. Day 3, Sun Studio. Today we arrived at Sun Studio, founded by music producer Sam Phillips. This was the first music label of Elvis Presley and home of the first rock and roll song Rockin' 88. The studio had a lot of history of the artists who recorded there, and as well as I guess you could say the technology they used. Today music production is a whole lot easier than it was back then. We got a chance to tour the recording studio that seems to have the original equipment that was used back when Elvis recorded there. We asked how much a recording session costs, and it comes out to $200 for 1 hour with access to all equipment and an engineer. According to our tour guide, the studio tries to keep reasonable rates for musicians to record or have their songs mixed and mastered. Later that day, we headed down to the Mississippi River to catch the Mark Twain riverboat that takes you along the river. It was a beautiful ride that offered commentary about the history of Memphis and the river itself. We also got a chance to go under the Mississippi-Arkansas Bridge. It was also a bit windy, so it's called the Mississippi-Arkansas Bridge because the bridge goes over the Mississippi River, which is the state line between Mississippi and Arkansas. It truly was a beautiful sight to see. Day 4, Nashville. We finally made it to Nashville. Our first day in Nashville, we took a campus tour of Belmont University. Belmont University is one of the top 10 schools in the United States for music business. It was a beautiful campus and very friendly people. I got a good vibe at the place because the school and people provided a lot of networking and job opportunities for musicians like myself trying to break into the music industry. Dollywood! The next day we headed east to Pigeon Forge, home of musician Dolly Parton, who opened in an amusement park called Dollywood in 1986. The park is known to have awesome rides and amazing food. I myself went on Big Bear Mountain and the Wild Eagle, which I highly recommend, but if you're not into loops, I probably would stick somewhere else. The park had a bird preserve that was home to birds who could not return to the wild due to health concerns. We got a chance to see the home of Dolly Parton. Although a replica, you could see and feel the history in the home. We had a chance to go on the Dollywood Express that takes you around the park, and the ride offers a great opportunity to see the Great Smoky Mountains. Overall, the park was wonderful and I highly recommend going. Even if you don't like roller coasters, you will find cool shops, restaurants, and shows to attend. The park provides something for everyone. Day 6 Hall of Fame. For our last day in Nashville, our first stop was the Country Music Hall of Fame. The museum honors the legends who carry the legacy of country music and preserve the history of the genre. They had a couple exhibits on the instruments and the origins of country music, and a few exhibits on famous country artists. Not gonna lie, I blew through this museum only because I'm not a fan of country music. Sorry, not sorry. I had no idea who most of these people were, but I did learn a lot in a small amount of time. The museum also offered a tour to RCA's historic Studio B. The studio opened up in 1957 and ran on for the next 20 years, recording hits for a few artists such as Elvis, Dolly Parton, and many others. Afterwards, we headed to Broadway Street, which wasn't busy at all. Hardly any people there. We stopped for a meal at Sun Diner that is influenced by Sun Studio. We also got the chance to visit the Gibson guitar store there in Nashville. It was cool because this store had a conveyor belt of guitars that circled all around the store. And I even got a chance to play a guitar. And alas, it was time to head back home. Overall, I fell in love with Tennessee. I love the history, the culture, and of course, the food. I definitely go back, and who knows, I might even return as a college student. We'll just have to wait and see what the future holds. So that is all I have for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe and hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys the next time in the next video. Bye!